Hi, all. So, we're going to talk about one of the most important things when you're starting your classes with Classkick, and that is making sure that if you want students to have a portfolio account, that they actually create a portfolio account. Now, one of the ways that you can get around this is by creating the accounts for the students, but if you do not have that option, I'm going to walk you through how you can have students create portfolio accounts or access portfolio accounts correctly. So, what we're going to do is we're going to look at what normally would happen. So, if you see here, you would give kids a class code. So, you can give them a link or you could give them the class code. But if you just tell them to do it this way, there is a very likely problem that they're going to have. So, if I were to go ahead and type this in, you can see that it's going to ask them for their name. And immediately, kids, even if you tell them not to put their name in, they're going to want to put their name in. And I'm going to show you what happens when they do that. So they're going to press go even before you've had time for them to listen. And what you can see is that new account. You see how this is that account that was created. It is a basic account. And I've worked with teachers, seen students do this over and over and over. And even if you give them very clear directions, they're going to be so tempted to put their name in there. So instead, what I suggest that you do is when you go to, if you cannot actually create accounts for students, do not give them the class code at first. Don't give them the link for the class code. Have them just go either to classkick.com or this second page, just have them go to classkick.com. Tell them to go to log in and then tell them to go to student and refuse to give them the class code right now. Instead, tell them to first press sign up. Okay, so do not give them a class code until you tell them to go to sign up. Alternatively, you can just, instead of having them go to classkick.com, have them share them with them this link right here instead. Okay, do not let them give them a class code until you tell them to sign up as a student. And then this place now, if they sign up from here, as soon as they type it in, there's no place for them to type their name in. They're forced to create a portfolio account. Okay, so this is extremely, extremely important that you do this. So here I'm going to show you how they can sign up. If you don't want kids to use or if you don't want them to use emails, that's fine. I'm going to just create one. I'm going to put Abdul Test Student 2. If you have kinder kids or something like that, you can always give them a very simple, like one-digit password to make it easier. And then you can just press sign up. It'll then ask them for their name. I'm going to show you what this will look like. Okay, so this kid is now logged in, and you can see that they have a portfolio account. Now, immediately after you have all of your students signed in the way that you want them to, especially if you're ever going to have them use codes again, you need to lock your roster, because every time you give a student a code, that as soon as they enter that code, unless they go through the second screen, it's going to pop up with a place for them to put their name, and it will create a basic account for them if your roster is not locked. So here's how you can do that. So if you're already on a screen like this, you can go to manage roster, and up here where the three dots are, you are going to put lock options. Okay, so it'll say then lock this roster. You're going to want to click that, and it will make it so that nobody else can add the roster again. So that way, if they are going into a class code, let me show you this. If this is a different student, let's say after you have the roster, all these kids have their accounts. What this protects you from doing is that if you ever decide to give them a code to enter an assignment again, and the student makes that tries to make the mistake of just entering their name, YJ9 XTC. Again, ideally we would have no basic accounts on here. So I'm going to pretend that the student wasn't named A, because again, we're going to assume that there was only portfolio accounts, only the kids that you want on there. If they try to enter a name, right, it's going to say that they're not on the roster. And of course, there's no way for that basic account to be on the roster. So eventually they're going to realize that they just need to log in and then go back and put their information in. All right, so this is extremely important. One of the most important things that you can know for having your student sign up with a portfolio account, if you're going to have the student do it themselves. All right, hopefully this is helpful.